Well, we'll start it off with a softball. What do you think of your unit so far this spring, Coach?
We return a lot of experience. There's a lot of leadership coming back so far this spring. The guys who have played a lot of football for us, people like Justin and Lamar, have really stepped up in a leadership role. It's not just on the field, it's off the field as well, a vocal role in the classroom. And then we've had some other guys, Fotuliatu and Bryson Young have really stepped up, and they provide a lot of position flexibility. You can play them to the field and boundaries. So I'm really pleased so far this spring what my groups have done.
When you were up there at Washington, did you ever think you'd be wearing the O?
I never thought about something like that, but you know, everything works out for a reason, and I'm really happy to be here now.
How is it being on this side of the rivalry?
I mean, so far so great. You know, I came here for people like Coach Cristobal. You know, the brotherhood, the fellowship that we have among the coaches. You know, it's a tight-knit group. You know, it's a team, it's a we, it's an us mentality. We do everything together, not just on the field, but off the field as well. You know, it's really a culture that I love being a part of, and so far, like I said, so good.
What was that recruitment process like with Coach Cristobal bringing you out here?
So I knew Coach Cristobal a little bit from running into him in South Florida. I recruited South Florida when I was at my previous school, and I ran into him a couple times, and then I obviously worked with Coach Hayward. Coach Hayward coached the corners when I coached the safeties at Louisville 3 years ago, so we had that relationship. And you know, I talked with Coach Cristobal, and we had a really good talk, and we had the same vision, same direction that we wanted to go in the future. And you know, I'm really happy to be here.
Was the fact that you used to be a Washington coach even a consideration when you were like thinking, oh man, they used to be our rival? Was that even cross your mind at all?
Yeah, I never really thought about anything like that. Like I said, it's about the people who are here, the people I get to be around on a daily basis, and they're great people to be with.
Dante and Keith had worked together. You knew Keith. What's the level of familiarity? I mean, did it feel like you were stepping into a totally new situation, or what kind of relationships have
I was really comfortable when I got here. Obviously, I knew Keith from when we coached defensive backs at Louisville together. I also knew Dante. Dante was a graduate assistant at Washington when I was a player, so I knew both of them. I knew Coach Joe, obviously, from recruitment when I was a player. And then I knew people on the other side of the ball. David Gilbertson, I knew him. Coach Cristobal, I knew him. I ran into Coach Mirabal recruiting when he was at Marshall. So I was very comfortable with the staff. I had previous relationships with many of the coaches, not just on the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive too.
What's it like working with a guy like Jim Levitt?
He's awesome. You know, I'm just continuing to be a sponge. He obviously has a great deal of experience, and he's won a lot of football games. So the more I can be around people like him with the you know, the detail of knowledge that he has, especially at the linebacker position, it's great. And you know, I've tried to take in everything he's given me, both as an inside linebackers and with the outside linebackers. You know, the more I know and the more that, you know, I can gain from him, it'll help me in my career. So I've just tried to be a sponge around him.
You mentioned Bryson Young. What's his development been like, and what are some of your focuses for him moving forward?
He's done a great job. You know, he's one of the hardest workers on this team. You know, he does a great job, you know, with a positive attitude every day. The main thing with Bryson is continuing to get better day by day. Obviously, you know, it's not going to be just a one-time thing with him. It's got to be an everyday consistency thing. The more he can become consistent on a day-to-day basis, the bigger impact he'll have for our team. And, you know, he's done a lot of good things so far this spring.
Mario was pretty thrilled with the front seven Saturday. What was your judgment of your guys in that group as a whole?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. They were stout against the run. They got after the quarterback in passing situations, but obviously there's always room for improvement. You know, anytime that we go out on those scrimmages, whether you know, we're a 3 down front or a 4 down front, you know, whether it's against the run, whether it's the pass, there's always room for improvement with my guys, especially with their keys, you know, with their hand placement, with their get off. So I was pleased. We were pleased, but there's plenty of room for improvement.
You can just be harping on little details. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. And when you get specific, like you said, on the little things, you're doing things right. But we want to be great, and you got to continue to work on those little things in order to be great.
Did you ever get mistaken for a player out there?
Yeah, the guys, I have, you know, the guys all know I'm young, but I have fun. I run around with the guys, and you know, I got to use my youth to my advantage at some point. So I have fun with the guys running around. So.
That helps you in recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, I use it to my advantage. You know, I'm probably one of the younger guys out there, and a lot of people have experience on me. You know, what I do in recruitment is I relate to the players. I've been in their shoes. You know, 10 years ago I was a high school recruit, so I can really relate to these kids with social media, with the new age, new generation of kid, and I definitely use that to my advantage in recruiting.
When you were going through it, were all the websites and kind of already founded. So
Yeah.
Did you go through the process that way?
Yeah, so Twitter hadn't started yet, but it was starting to get going. You know, when Huddle was just coming around. So, like I said, I really can relate to these kids because I know exactly what they're going through. So.
Can you think back to when you were at Washington? Obviously, that was a time when Oregon was dominating the rivalry. What was just your perception of the Ducks?
The only school that I ever beat when I was playing was Oregon, and you know it was a championship caliber team. Won a lot of football games, went to Rose Bowls, and I had a lot of respect for this program for what they did. Obviously, on and off the field, they were doing things you know the right way, and I always had a tremendous amount of respect for this program.